The transfers in this video will demonstrate the use of a 29-inch slide board to assist the manual wheelchair user to enter and exit a car. These transfers are not usually done from power chairs. This is because power chairs are usually only transported in wheelchair-accessible vehicles. When preparing the passenger for transfer, lock the brakes and place a lap belt low and snug over the hips and pelvis. Move the hips forward to ensure the passenger clears the wheelchair tire when they transfer. Normally, you will want the car seat as far back as possible, although this will vary between door frames and vehicle models. Set the wheelchair at an approximate 30-degree angle. The front of the big wheel must be even with the door frame. Lock all brakes and ensure casters are set forward. One assistant will help from the car seat. The transfer board should be placed under the thigh. The other assistant will help from outside the car, supporting the head and hips. Leaning the passenger forward will ensure the hips will easily glide across the board. The hips will lead the motion onto the car seat. Make sure the passenger's head stays out of the car until the hips are safely on the car seat. Both assistants should make sure that the passenger's hips do not contact the frame of the car or the tire of the wheelchair. Once the transfer is complete, the outside assistant will remove the slide board and then will lift the passenger's feet inside the car. Ensure the pelvis is positioned properly. Be sure to fasten the seatbelt. Upon exit, the roles of the assistants are reversed. First, place one or both feet outside the vehicle. Lean the passenger forward and use the lap belt rather than grabbing other areas. A countdown helps to coordinate the slide across. Make sure the hips are safely on the chair before the passenger's head comes up. Remove the slide board. Place the passenger's feet on the footplate and ensure that they are secure in their chair. Other adjustments can be made at a safe distance from the vehicle. Generally, when only one person assists in a transfer, the assistant will provide help from outside the vehicle. Set the wheelchair at an approximate 30-degree angle. The front of the big wheel must be even with the door frame. Lock the brakes and ensure the casters are set forward. Placement of the feet will depend on body type and comfort level. Typically, a passenger is most comfortable with both feet outside of the car. Now, the passenger will lean in the opposite direction of the transfer. About 1/3 of the board is placed underneath the thigh. The assistant can help guide the hips across the slide board as the passenger leans forward with her head down. Make sure to avoid hitting the wheelchair tire and car frame as you make this transfer. The passenger's hips will enter the car first. Make sure the passenger keeps her head down to avoid hitting the door frame. Once the hips are inside the vehicle, the passenger can raise their head. Remove the slide board and transfer the legs inside the vehicle. Once you are safely in the car, be sure to fasten the seatbelt. Upon exit, the roles of the assistants are reversed. Start by placing the chair at about a 30-degree angle to the vehicle frame. Lock the brakes. Placement of the feet will depend on comfort level. Typically, people are successful with both feet out of the car. The passenger will lean away from the wheelchair. The assistant will place about 1/3 of the slide board under the upper thigh and buttocks. The passenger will lean forward. Communicate with your assistant about how much help you will need. The assistant will help guide the passenger's hips across the slide board. Avoid hitting the wheelchair tire and car frame as you make this transfer. During the transfer, The hips slide first as the head is kept down until the pelvis and hips are safely in the wheelchair. Once the passenger is secure in the wheelchair, unlock the brakes and move away from the car. When you have enough space, the passenger can properly position their feet on the footplate.